So, setting the scene, my fellow exiles. We've already gone through 16 leagues. We're deciding which leagues from PoE1 are actually going to make it into Path of Exile 2 by its 1.0 release. We have this number from Jonathan. I'm sure it can change, so we're not going to hold him to it. 80% of PoE1 leagues will be in PoE2 eventually. Now, this isn't a one-to-one port. For a lot of them, they are going to evolve the league from PoE1 to PoE2. We're just talking about whether or not the basic concepts will make it into the sequel. So we have quite a few to go. We might be able to get through all of them here today as long as my daughters don't start going berserk. So let's get started with the next batch. So we're gonna, and as I go through, I'm going to be giving a rundown of what the league is in PoE1, just to give everybody some context, because I know some people might be newer. You may not be playing PoE1 right now. You might have never played Path of Exile 1 before, but you are hyped out the wazoo for Path of Exile 2. Well, let's go with Legacy. Heck nah. So Legacy League was essentially a league that brought together almost every single one of these leagues from the past into one league, and it allowed you to open up areas using keys, these little stones, like league stones, I think that's what they were called. And you could place a mechanic in the area that you were opening. Does it sound familiar? Does it sound like maybe like Scarabs? Something similar? It didn't work exactly like Scarabs, but that's essentially what it was. And it lasted like 6 months, and it led everyone into 3.0, which was the Fall of Oriath expansion. And when the difficulty tiers left Path of Exile 1, and it was then a 10-act campaign. Yeah, Legacy, it's just Scarabs. Yeah. Hey, Ilya, what's going on? Yeah, that's a hell nah. So, okay, so it's already in Ilya. Okay, but are Scarabs in PoE2? We don't actually know. We don't know that, man. I don't think so. Okay. So that's a heck nah. That's an easy heck nah. All right, Harbinger. Spicy take from me. Harbinger, they are big packs on a map. There's an invulnerable Harbinger, an alien who summons in lots and lots of enemies. And when you kill all the enemies, the Harbinger dies and they drop a bunch of currency shards. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. I don't think that Harbinger has a place in PoE2. I just don't. I don't see it. I don't see them putting it into the game. I don't even know if shards will, like, okay, shards do exist in PoE2. Okay. Will they drop in PoE2? Or will they be reserved to be disenchantment acquired from all vendors? I just don't like Harbinger. You're just lots of currency that you have to manually pick up. It's just like a big blob of monsters. Like, sure, if you did a lot of work to transform it, you could bring it into the game, but I just don't think it's going to make it. I think it can go. I think it can go. Infested One, you agree? Yannick is unsubscribing from my channel. Dang it. Dang it. Yeah, Robert Dresser, I totally agree. I don't think shards should exist as drops. We know that we get them from disenchanting items, from vendors, like magic, rare, whatever. But as drops, like, they want drops to be valuable. The only shard I want dropped is a mirror shard. Hey, Empty Sis, yo, try, what up, dude? First time catching you live. I've been watching you grow on YouTube from start pretty much now. Oh, thank you so much. Welcome. Welcome in, you guys. Oh, hey, Wintry Kid. Yeah, so Harbinger, I mean, literally nobody's pushing me on this besides Yannick. So Yannick, I guess you're just unsubscribing, man. I will take the hit on my extras channel. Please don't unsubscribe from my main YouTube channel. Thank you. All right, we're moving on. Abyss. Gotta have Abyss. Okay. Oh, thanks for the follow, Empty Sis. I appreciate you, man. I think Abyss can make it. I think they can easily transform that into PoE2 as a meaningful piece of content, especially in endgame. If we're thinking about most leagues not necessarily appearing. Oh, and what is Abyss? You touch a crack, the crack starts forming through the map, and monsters spill out of it. And then there's a treasure chest at the end. And it can sometimes spawn into an abyssal depth. Gotta remember to explain the mechanic. Goodness gracious. Sorry, non-PoE1 players who are watching. I'll be better about that next time. If we're thinking about league mechanics mostly being in PoE2's endgame, because the campaign itself is already filled out with so many secrets and the like, right? The secrets and bosses and different areas and already all these flourishes. You don't necessarily need a bunch of league mechanics to spruce it up. And most of the stuff is going to be in endgame. I can definitely see Abyss as one of the endgame systems that they initially implement. Like, it's very basic. I like the multiple layers to it, where it can traverse through a map and change your entire mapping experience. Sometimes you can get that extra reward of finding the abyssal depths, which I see it as a reward because I always get the Amamamuna Mamunumu Mamunumu jewel almost every single league, and I make like 5 div from it, and it's beautiful. So I would love to see Abyss in PoE2. Yeah, I agree, M2 says. Yeah, I think it's natural to keep Abyss, 100%. Yep. Yeah, mirror shards, yep. Robert Dresser, we agree. Yep. Okay. All right. So much agreement. So much agreement. Okay. Bestiary. Einhar, master missions. He spawns yellow or red beasts in your map. You take down the beast, they spawn with special packs. And you can do crafting with them. Because when you capture the beast, they unlock recipes, and you use the beast and said recipes to craft on items. Now, it was in the initial Path of Exile 2 trailer back from 2019. Einhar, right? So you'd think that's confirmation that he'll be in PoE2. I don't think so, guys. I don't think. I am almost 90% sure there's stuff from that trailer that won't be in the game anymore. You know, the biggest one to me that hasn't been looked at all anymore that I kind of think about is Kitava's skull. Do you remember in the Path of Exile 2 initial trailer, we see a shot of Oriath and Kitava's skull overgrown? It's during the line when the narrator says something like, 20 years since Kitava fell, right? Will we get that? Like, Act 1, Agam. Act 2, Desert. Act 3, the Atziri place. Not the Atziri place, but the Val place. Act 4, the island hopping. Act 5, like, deep, I don't know, like the Val ruins, I think. Actually, I don't know where Act 5 is. Act 6, no idea. I mean, maybe we go there in Act 6, but I guess it is possible. Like, we could hop there, technically, during the island hopping missions, right? Maybe we go to Oriath. But, like, some of that stuff, I wonder if it'll be in. So, I don't think it's confirmed, but I think it's likely. Or at least, I think it will definitely be in some form. I was in the PoE2 Discord earlier today. By the way, we have a cool Discord channel if anybody's watching is not already in it. And I was fantasizing about a real bestiary in the game because we have 600 plus monsters. What if we had like a real bestiary where it was like Necropolis, where it showcased each monster entry and it showed the abilities that they used? And I guess in PoE2, you're also going to have actual weaknesses based on like monsters. So a monster made of wood.
Was satisfying.
Yo, Zinski, dude. Thank you for the 2 community gifted subs. I appreciate that, man. Cheers to you. Cheers. I will literally cheers to you. I got to take a drink. It's really hot in here. A literal Pokédex. And you know why it would work out well, Gavrin? Because we have Pokeballs in PoE2. We have Pokeballs. Specters are Pokeballs. The Spectre gem allows you to capture a monster and keep it in your gem forever and resummon it over and over. Come on, GGG. I mean, how cool would that be? I would love it. You know, little lore entry, learning the abilities, because all of them have multiple different abilities. And I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. So I think it will definitely be in the game. I saw a huge comment from Empty Sis. Yeah, the one thing that scares me the most is whether or not we lost the Beastmaster Ascendancy that was teased at the first ExileCon. I bet we did. I bet we lost it, but we gained it somewhere else. Remember, the Druid didn't exist at ExileCon 2019. We still had 6 classes. I think they basically said like the Scion wasn't going to happen. So we just had 6 classes, right? We gained 6 more classes. I think the Beastmaster will just basically be available in the skill gems, you know, the transformations, hopefully like the cat form and the cat summons and all that will be available. Zinsky, thanks to you guys, one of the nicest PoE communities out there. Oh, 100%. I pride myself in that. Everybody here is like really, really, really nice. I really appreciate how genuinely great everybody is. The next we're going to be talking about Incursion with Hey, oh my goodness, Arrow, what's going on, dude? How you doing, man? I've got the Arrow vibes going on now, if you didn't notice. And I'm wearing a tank top, so I'm a little embarrassed because when I met Arrow in LA, he called out my little muscles, you know. He basically called him out. He didn't directly call them out, but he was like, yeah, come on, you can do better, right? So he has inspired me to eat at least double the protein ever since I met him. So shout out to Arrow. Okay, Arrow, you were like complimenting me, but I like felt like when I was standing next to you and you kind of like tapped me, and I was like, oh gosh, I can feel the weight of his hand. Like he's so strong. You inspired me to try to get bigger. Then I got sick like the past 2 weeks, and I only lifted once, and that was yesterday. So like they kind of shrunk a little bit, but it's really hot in here. It's even hotter now that, you know, you just rated me. So thanks, man. My guns were out in LA. I was the only one with guns out. It was bad. Oh my god. Oh. I couldn't believe it. Thanks for the follows, everybody. Oh goodness. Yeah, welcome everybody. We are doing, you know, Path of Exile 2 speculation. We're talking about which leagues we think will be in Path of Exile 2 by its 1.0 launch from PoE 1.0. Kind of just, you know, speculating, you know. Thanks for the follows, you guys. I really appreciate it. Let me see. Where's the timer? Psycho Killer, we are at 56 days remaining as of about like 3 hours from now. 56 days left. It's going to be super awesome. Hey, Nico, dude. Thanks for the Prime. 5 months now? I appreciate you, man. Yeah, the magnum opus of GGG is upcoming. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. All right, see you later. See you later, Arrow. Have a great night, man. Appreciate the raid. All right. Okay. So we just confirmed that we think Bestiary will be in PoE 2. Let's move on to Incursion now. So Incursion, for people who haven't played Path of Exile 1, is a mechanic wherein you go into a map, you find Elva, you talk to her, she's helping you reveal a temple from thousands of years ago created by the Val, and you're building it room by room. You can upgrade the rooms and get different rewards from said rooms, and there's a boss that can appear at the end of the temple, and Atzeri can even appear in it as well. Hey, dude, Razor, dude, thanks for the Prime. I appreciate that, man. Hype train, let's go. Appreciate that, man. And if you build the temple fully, you can go travel to the temple, raid the temple. There's a whole bunch of different mechanics that are part of Incursion, because in the temple itself, they decided to take in leagues from the past and insert them to each of the rooms, in addition to creating Incursion-specific rewards and rooms. Will this be in PoE 2, though? I think it has a place. Elva definitely has a place. She's in the story of Path of Exile 2. We've seen her in Act 3. We know that she's an integral NPC. She helps us find Zukoatl. She dips out right before we fight Zukoatl, but she activates him. I think she's going to be a core part of the story. We know she's a time traveler, right? But will Incursion itself be in the game? I don't think this will surprise many of you. You're going to see a lot of definite leads starting from about here on out, because I think the league quality is much higher. I think that Incursion is almost with 100% certainty going to be in PoE 2 in some way, shape, or form. This is another entire endgame system that they have built out. Holy crap! The Plebeian, dude! 10 community gifted subs? You guys, Path of Exile 2 isn't out yet. Oh my God. Jesus, man. Thank you so much, Plebeian. Thank you. And you just started watching me on Twitch like Tuesday.
Exotic gifts.
Jesus, guys. Oh my God. You guys are crazy. I don't even know how to react to this.
Exotic gifts.
Oh, thank you so much. Jeez. I don't even know what to say. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Exotic gifts.
I guess like while we're talking about this, I got awesome news, you guys. Since we've got quite a few people here, my PTO was approved for November 15th,
gifts.
18th, and 19th. So I will be streaming on launch day, the day after, the day after that, the day after that, and the day after that, and making videos. So it's going to be a fun time. I've got sign off from family members, sign off from work. We're going to be able to go hard, you guys.
Gifts.
So it's going to be great. Okay, Board Bra, if the servers aren't stable, you know what we're going to do together? We will sit in the queue and suffer.
Gifts.
Yeah, no Error 37. Hopefully none of that takes place. Oh my God, New Axe, what'd you just say? Hot take is going to get delayed one day before early access. New Axe, dude. No chance. No chance it gets delayed. If they were going to delay PoE2,
that was satisfying.
If they were going to delay PoE2, it would have been, weeks ago. I have it on my own my mind. There's no way that's not happening. It's not happening. PTO, yeah, Yannick, in the US, we have paid time off. So I have a full-time job. So I do not do this full-time. I know some people, especially on Reddit, who do not like my content and think that I am a big fakey, big fake man. I think I do this full-time. I do not do this full-time. No, I work right there for, sometimes 50, 60 hours a week. Hopefully I, keep it to 40, 45, but yeah, I work a lot. So I had to put in PTO quite a bit in advance and I got approved, thankfully. So yeah, GGG. I don't think Nintendo's going to sue them for the Pokeball idea with the Spectres, but smart. Yeah, that's some wild gaming stuff there. I think that's utter crap. I know I won't get into it, but patenting game mechanics, come on, guys. Who besides like a corporation or like a CEO thinks that's a good idea? Does any game developer or gamer think patenting game mechanics is a good idea or good for the industry? I don't think so. I think that just stymies everything, but I will not get into it. Ooh. Yeah, I work from home. I'm a director of paid media. I work in marketing. No. Ooh. Awesome. Yeah, it's not a great practice, but it happens a lot. I think what was the last big one was that the Nemesis system from the Lord of the Rings game. Somebody patented that, and they're like, you cannot use this specific way of making Nemesis, even though it was really cool. It was basically patented and you couldn't do it anymore. Pretty wild. Totally stifles creativity, New Axe. Yeah, dude, I work remote. Yeah. So that's why, on launch day, I can just walk over to my desk and start streaming immediately. It's really nice. Okay. All right. I mean, yeah. Okay. So Incursion, I think definitely it's going to get reworks. Let's move on to Delve. Guys, I mean, I'm going to put definitely here. And in parentheses, I'm going to put 99% confirmed. So Delve is the infinite dungeon. It is the home of Steve Underground. We all love Steve, and I don't swear on my streams, but you guys can spam it in the chat. I don't care if chat swears. It is the home of Steve. It is definitely going to be in PoE2. It is an infinite dungeon where you go deeper and deeper and deeper. It's basically infinite scaling. It has its own reward systems. It has fossils. It has unique monsters and bosses and all the totally going to be in PoE2. Every time Jonathan is asked, hey, what leagues are going to make it to Path of Exile 2? What does he say? Oh, well, I can't confirm anything. But man, I love Delve. Ain't Delve just the best league? If we were to do a league in PoE2, we would go all in and make it as good as possible and evolve it from its form in PoE1. And, Delve. Maybe Delve, right? Come on, guys. I know people hate when I put this in my thumbnails, but 99% confirmed. 99% confirmed that Delve is going to be in the game by 1.0. Jonathan loves it. So many people in PoE love it. You know, the first time I was actually exposed to Path of Exile was a Riker video when he was talking about Delve being added to the game. Yeah. The first time I ever saw anything PoE related. I didn't start playing, but I remember watching a Riker video about it, and I was like, oh, Infinite Dungeon. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm sure I'll play that game one day. I actually did. Should have played it a lot sooner. But yeah, just a little piece of try lore. I think it's going to be in the game, and it is definitely going to have some sort of evolution. Oh, Mako, dude. Subscribe with the Prime, 3 months now. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. DM loves Riker. Oh, Steve is streaming right now. Beautiful. What was I going to say? A little bit on fossils, you guys. So let's get some hot takes in the chat. One, a long time ago, the developers did mention that they wanted to split out various crafting methods in PoE1 and PoE2 to only affect certain gear types. Example, fossil crafting might only work on armor. This is not confirmed. Essences might only work on jewelry. Bench crafting might only work on, I don't know, maybe it won't even be determined by gear type. Maybe it's like by rarity. So like magic items, something wild like that. If fossils were to be put into PoE2, how do you guys think that that would be handled? I'm just kind of curious because I rarely interact with fossils. I know a lot of people swear by them and they think it's one of the cleanest crafting methods. And sometimes like not the most deterministic, but kind of the most reliable, if you know what I mean. I don't use it a lot. How do you guys think that would function in a game like PoE2? Let's see. Free roaming in PoE2 Delve instead of nodes. Board brawl. That sounds insane. Oh, how would that even work? That like an open world Delve? Don't even, dude. That's wild. Okay, Ilya, I'm just saying I think they mentioned that at some point. Ilyak. So I am good with some limits on some things. Like I think the support gem change is just a W change overall, wherein you can only use one of each support gem across your entire build. But something like this crafting, unless it's done in a way where, you know, there are many possibilities, I do think it's not the best idea. But I'm not a game designer. Love the split for trade, but I hate it for SSF. Let people play how they want. Yeah, Ilyak, I agree. Fossils are awesome, but the problem is that we need Path of Exile to use them. Right. And they don't want us to be reliant on third-party tools. But, guys, so I'm going to give you a spoiler. I'm going to give you a huge spoiler for Path of Exile 2. Are you ready? This is straight from 13 years of development from Grinding Gear Games. Path of Exile 2 is probably going to be as complex as Path of Exile 1 when it comes to these crafting systems. It's obviously the type of game that these guys want to make. What they really wanted to do with Path of Exile 2 is bring it a step up in terms of graphics, in terms of animations, and really in terms of overall game fidelity and its combat and all of its pre-existing systems, and to add tutorials in that just wouldn't be worth it if they were added to PoE1 now, because that ship has sailed. Yes, Path of Exile 1 just had its peak concurrent player record, but the Path of Exile 1 ship has sailed. It's already launched. Path of Exile 2 is a new start for lots of players. I have dozens of people in real life. Yes, I know dozens of people who won't play PoE1, but they will try Path of Exile 2. It is a fresh start for GGG. It's a step up. It's a chance to fix a lot of past mistakes, but I do not think they're going to sacrifice the depth or complexity for some of these crafting systems. Maybe that's a hot take for me. Maybe that's a really hot take. I just don't see that fading away. I see all this stuff that, you know, you can build Path of Exile tools for staying in the game. I do. Even though they want people to play the game itself. That's a hot take, New X, because I hate Path of Building. Yeah. I also think it will be more complex and deeper, Robert Dresser, especially with all the systems we've seen so far. But it will have better introductions to said systems. to allow people to do stuff in game instead of relying on tools outside of game. I think the floor will be the floor will be higher, but the ceiling will be much higher too. I think that's a good way to put it. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I do see some simplification wanters for crafting. People don't want it to be limited. You have 2 friends that won't even try PoE1, but they're in for PoE2. Yeah, Makad, 100%. Yeah, there are so many people that are ready to try PoE2 that will not play PoE1. Like my brother, just like that, will not try PoE1. One of my best friends, he tried PoE1 this Necropolis. Rip. Seriously, rip. Did not like it. He's so in for PoE2. Floor will be lower, not higher. Wait, floor will be lower. Like the lower. Floor will be low. No, but if the floor is lower, that means people can fall more, right? The floor is higher because they're like lifted up by the tutorials and the introductory systems and all that. I am not that smart, you guys. Just by the way, not very intelligent. So if I make a complete fool of myself when I'm reading your comments, I mean, that's the real me. Don't touch PoE. You see, everybody's excited for PoE2. Jeez. Oh, Amex. There's 2 things that push people from PoE. The skill tree, and as soon as you mention economy resets. Economy resets are so good, though. They are so good at resets because, okay, if standard didn't exist, okay, economy resets suck. Standard exists. Economy resets are great because it also serves as a testing ground for grinding your games who, as an ambitious studio, wants to try wild stuff and they don't want to integrate that in the core game. It's perfect for this type of game, this type of studio. They are risky. I enjoy the risk. Floor will be lower. That means it's easier to step in. Oh, duh. Oh, God. Yeah. Thank you for the clarification. Thank you, Nico. Thank you. The number one thing that pushes people away from PoE1 are the sockets in the skill system. That's what pushed my genius friend away. He hated the sockets. Like he's an actuary. He's an actuary. Super smart. He taught himself like C#, C++, Python, all these coding. He hated the socket system. He thought it was too convoluted. So he bounced from PoE1 in Necropolis. You played the game of the Expos. Did they add a gold pouch? Yes, they did. It's just like PoE1, but the gold pouch. Yep. Yeah, it's a gold pouch. No, yeah, Ilya, I know. He taught himself C# and C++ and Python in his free time. And he codes in his free time. Yeah, it was outside of work. That's what I'm saying. Like, I was learning it in college because I have a computer science degree, and he is better at it than I am, and he taught it to himself. Right? Yeah, it's pretty sad. Yeah, he's crazy. He's super smart. Okay, we've been talking about that long enough. All right, next one. Betrayal. Yeah, I have a computer science degree, but so maybe I am slightly intelligent, just slightly intelligent. That's it. But I don't think it's done me any wonders. Maybe it just taught me how to memorize things and how to apply logic to certain scenarios. Okay, betrayal. Betrayal, simple, guys. Very simple mechanic. Okay? You have these encounters that spawn in your maps. There's 4 different types because there's 4 different groups of betrayal members. They're a part of the Immortal Syndicate. You hunt them down with June. They're all these former NPCs from Ray Class past. They're a part of transportation, research. Oh no. Transportation, research. Oh, what are the other ones? I'm not looking at chat. I can remember these. Transportation, research. It's not Fortress. What the heck is the Fortress one? Oh no. No. Bad. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the other 2. Transportation, research. There's the assassination and then the Fortress. What is the what is the Fortress? Oh my god. Guys, this is I have played Path of Exile for 5 years. I should know these things. Transportation, research. Is it literally just like fortification? I don't think it is. Because it would, my mind would confirm that if that were the case. Fortification and intrigue. What is the, not assassination? Okay, I gotta look at the chat. What is it? Jesus. Intervention and fortification. Okay, so it was fortification. Jeez. Okay. Oh, it's intervention, fortification. Okay, right. And they all do different encounters. One's a fortress that you break into, another's a research lab, another's a caravan that you interrupt, and another they just try to assassinate you, right? Okay, so it's like a super advanced version of Rogue Exiles. But they also have the whole Immortal Syndicate board on top of it. They have the safe houses, and they have the boss. I don't know if it has a place in PoE2, guys. I don't see it. I really don't. I don't think it's a good idea to add to PoE2. I think it was a good idea at the time. You know, they stretched the boundaries with the dialogue and the different NPCs interacting, and you have the bounty board and all that. I think it's best to leave in Path of Exile 1. Or if it appears in PoE2, like, big evolution. I'm almost like, guys, I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to be spicy. No way betrayal makes it to PoE2. There we go. There we go. Okay, let's see. What do people think? Hard agree, not needed agree. Oh my gosh, people are agreeing with me. I can't even believe it. Where's Invasion? Oh, we talked about that on Tuesday, man. We did the first 16 leagues. Invasion doesn't exist today. I think it's cool, Vince, but I don't think it's going to appear in PoE2. Like, I really like the idea of just the random monster packs appearing and invading your maps. Maybe in one form it'll eventually make it. Wow, am I getting all agrees? Wait, Benny Mario, it removes 99% of crafts from game. Oh, Beakface also disagreeing with me. Betrayal removes crafts from games? What do you mean? Whoa, 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 whoa. What? Oh, veiled gear not needed. This is the live show. These things. Yeah, Zinski. Yeah, I fully veiled mods. Will veiled mods be in PoE2? I mean, I like the idea of veiled mods. I don't know if that exact system will take place in PoE2. Maybe they'll do it in a different manner. Because I think that's also one of the systems that lots of people have always complained about as being very tedious. I don't know if that'll make it to PoE2 without significant evolution, you know? Yeah, I just tore apart your board. We're going to heck nah betrayal. Ooh. Yeah, remember when we had to level the mods up? Wasn't that crazy, you guys? Oh my god. I remember those dark days. I think the crafting bench is confirmed to be in PoE2. They said it wasn't, and then they went back on that earlier this year. One of the Jonathan interviews. Okay, you guys, synthesis. Okay, we have synthesis as it was when it was released, and synthesis as it is right now. Let's talk about synthesis as it was when it released. When synthesis released, and remember, I didn't start playing until Blight. So this is me just from reading and watching stuff. Synthesis essentially was one of the largest expansions to PoE ever, one of the largest leagues to PoE ever, especially in terms of lore added to the game. It told a sweeping story about Zana and the Shaper and the Shaper's teacher, and essentially how the Shaper fell to madness and how his teacher, Venarius, turned into this megalomaniacal mastermind who almost took over the entire world in Atlas and became like one of the most powerful people in all of Rayclast. We even learn in Scourge League that one of the longest surviving realities of Rayclast, besides our own, is the one where Venarius, the villain in Synthesis, like basically won, took over the world, and defended against the Scourge demons like until the very last breath, which is absolutely bad. Bad arse. I swore a little bit, whatever. So super cool. So there was this huge story. There were these maps in which there were there was like this mechanic where your map would be eaten by like, okay, so there was the memory nexus, right? Okay, so it was a completely separate mapping system, and you could build your own board of maps, kind of like Agricola. Like you could place down map tokens and create like a path going through not the atlas, but I guess the memory or the memory nexus, and you would determine your own modifiers and rewards and the like, and you could chain them together, and you'd get boss rooms. It looks kind of like the Echoes in Last Epoch if you played that, or like I said, Agricola the game. And as you went through these areas, there was like a map-wide modifier that would slowly eat the map away. So it was kind of a race against the clock. In addition to that, you could get obviously the synthesized modifiers using the synthesizer. I think this is also, was this when fracturing was added to the game, you guys? Or was that in Harbinger? I can't remember. I think maybe it was just synthesizing that was added to the game with synthesis. I don't quite remember. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. There was that. There were all those bosses that were added to the game. I think Neon, aka Mark Roberts, has said the synthesis bosses are some of the most complex in the game. Like they have the most movesets out of any of them. So it was a huge league. Absolutely hated on release. Hated. People hated it. They had to do a ton of fixes. It was very buggy. The crafting, I guess, was horrendous. The mapping system was janky with the memory nexus and the like. So people hated the league. And it was basically wiped for the game, except for the synthesized mods that can, now drop on items. And the synthesis bosses, which obviously are in the game in the form of the synthesis maps and the forgotten boss fight and Cortex, right? And all the story was gone too. So was the memory nexus. All that's gone. So yeah, see, a lot of people really liked it. Or sorry, some people really liked it, but from reception and player numbers, people hated it. I wonder if it was like too complex for the average player. What do you guys think about that? Was it like too complex? Is that what it was? Like, was the barrier for entry too high with the memory nexus, with the synthesizer and all that? So anyways, synthesis. Is it going to be in there by 1.0, you guys? No. I don't think synthesized items are going to be in there by 1.0. I don't think there's going to be like synthesized maps, synthesized bosses. It's not going to be there, guys. Heck nah. Heck nah. Yeah, see? Okay, good, everybody. Synthesis was giga power creep for the few. Yeah, because the synthesizer was super strong, right? Yeah, okay. Oh, right here. League with too much micromanagement is the only reason when it's out of the Atlas main endgame, because as the time passes, it becomes extremely boring for people who are not too much into it. Right. Right, Vince. Yep. I mean, yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, alternate endgame. Hey, If and Jeff, what's going on, man? How you doing, dude? Yeah, I just did the whole explanation of the memory nexus and stuff. I wasn't playing PoE at the time though, so it was probably crap. Maybe it will inspire something, but I don't think like it as a core mechanic will appear in the game, like the maps or the synthesized items. I just don't think they're going to make it, at the start, at least at 1.0. Oh yeah, the aesthetics are great. The story, the aesthetics, and the bosses, those are great, you guys. Absolutely great. Okay, so next league. I think this is 3.7, you guys. We are moving along. We're in 3.25 right now. Whew. 3.7 Legion. All right, super simple league. Crystal appears in map. Click on crystal. It spawns army or armies of people in crystals. You break them out. Some of them have rewards. Sometimes chests appear. And you basically get to choose the amount of people you fight. But of course, if you're at high power, you want to kill as many of the crystallized people as possible. When the timer ends, the people you killed in the crystals pop out of the crystals, and you have to kill them again for the rewards. You gather fragments, and you can fight them in the domain of timeless conflict, wherein you can get exclusive rewards, including the timeless jewels, and you can get a ton of XP, and you can basically fight all the armies over and over and over and over again. It's like one of the, zergiest things in all of Path of Exile. And when I tried to do 5-ways this league, my 4090 crashed. So I just decided, okay, well, I'm not going to get 100 this league. Because no shrines, no 5-ways. I don't have the time to do it. Can't do it. So, will it be in Path of Exile 2? I think it does have a place. I think, okay. Definitely. I can't spell definitely. I think the monolith. I don't know about the domain of timeless conflict. What do you guys think? Unless the monolith has to be reworked. That's my qualifier. I think the monolith, no. Definitely the domain of timeless conflict has to be reworked. Right? There you go. It can't be in the game if the domain remains the same. I think that's just antithetical to what Path of Exile 2 stands for. I think that's way much, visual bloat and crap. Ugh. But I think Legion is definitely in. Like, it's just such a simple, cool mechanic, and it's like a flash to the past, and they could even add new armies to it too. I think it's a great mechanic. Simple mechanic too. Everybody agrees pretty much. Okay. 100% if and Jeff. Yeah, last Epoch's monolith system is more streamlined version of synthesis. Yes, I totally agree. That's exactly what I thought when I played last Epoch for the first time. There you go. Domain rework. I can't type. Look at that, you guys. That's crazy. Domain rework. Yeah, 100%. So I think the monolith is in, but the domain has to be reworked. 5-ways should not be in PoE2. Make it a 6-way. Yannick, you wild man. Absolute wild man. No way. Ooh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Blight. Tower defense, guys. You build towers. Monsters come down lanes. You can have blight bosses. There are blighted maps with tons of towers, and they're basically, you can treat them kind of like an auto battler, or I guess tower defense, where you can set up your towers in the right way and basically do nothing. Super visually invasive, super laggy. Will it be in Path of Exile 2? Jonathan told Darth Microtransaction that they would try to make it work. Hey, Hibbing Tier. I can't say your name. Is it Vittinger? Vittinger? Silent H? So because of that, because Jonathan said he would make it work for Darth Microtransaction, I'm going to say definitely. I'm going to say that, but I think it has to undergo significant changes. So what does that necessarily mean? Maybe reduce the number of towers that you're spawning, the number of lanes that are had, because it can't just be thousands of monsters in PoE2, right? Especially if they want you to actually engage in the combat. Like the whole tower defense thing, like they want to have mini games in Path of Exile, but I still think that they want each of these mini games to still be engaging in some way. So I think it'll be a rework. I guess I can note the ones that I think will have reworks. And which ones I think can just drop in the game. Definitely. Yeah. Okay, cool. Oh, Zinski doesn't think so. No blight. Okay. All right. Big rework, some type of tower defense for sure. Tower defense could be fun. Okay. Okay, you guys. I'm, maybe my opinion is clouding me, and I'm not a big fan of tower defense. So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. I know everybody here loves blight. My goodness, you guys. Okay, Metamorph. No longer in the game. So everybody who started in, wow, when did they take it out? Was it Affliction? So everybody who started in Affliction doesn't know what the heck Metamorph is. So Metamorph literally allowed you, thanks for the follow, Ryu. I really appreciate that, man. Metamorph allowed you to build your own boss. So its initial implementation in 3.9, this is when I really started to play, you guys, Metamorph. You had to like pick up the organs manually and assemble them. as its own boss. It was really cool. You like built your own boss. But the problem was the most juiced up bosses didn't really have any tells, and they just cycled through their abilities really fast. And some abilities were just like insta kills. So you were building your own boss with its own abilities and its own rewards. It was pretty cool. There was also a laboratory where you could fight metamorphs that were combined all together. And that sucked. I thought that was going to be really, really cool, but it ended up sucking.
The prettiest
and I never did.
Makes the
Hey, Pancartex, dude. Thanks for the Prime. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Are you a new Twitch viewer? I don't recognize your name here. Thank you. So yeah, like I think it had a lot of potential. Build your own boss. They took it out, they said, because it was tough on the client. Like it was tough. Like apparently like causing the forms to shift from one monster to the next, like broke a lot and it required a lot of work and it was just a mess. So I don't think they really liked it code-wise. Yeah. Oh, welcome, Pancartex. Awesome. Yeah, I'm streaming here on Twitch and on my extras channel too on YouTube. But yeah, I'm gonna be streaming Path of Exile 2 when it comes out. So we're just doing some wild speculation about which leagues are actually gonna make it in. So in my opinion, would I want this in the game? I loved it. And if they reworked it, I think it would be awesome in Path of Exile 2, especially because all the bosses have their own movesets and they want the boss fights to be engaging. But do I think this will be in PoE2? Do I think it's gonna be in? I'm gonna go with maybe.
Blood.
It's gonna be a rework.
Tribute.
I mean, maybe in a slight rework, because I think it would work with PoE2's design. You're building your own boss, and they have all these wild moves. Heck nah for you, Amex. Hey, Puzzled Pickle. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to go with maybe. I think that it could just do with a slight rework, because especially if you're just building bosses with all the varied bosses in PoE2, like, and they actually have moves, they're not spammy. I think it'd be awesome. I'd rather see interesting handcrafted encounters than player-driven remixes of those movesets combined out of context. If and Jeff, do you mean like the developers handcrafting like their own metamorphs? Like there's a predetermined set of like, say like 300 combinations of metamorphs that you can choose to fight or you randomly encounter, like kind of like the rogue metamorph mechanic. The developers are like, oh yeah, this ability from the Crowbell would go really well, or the slam from the Crowbell would work super well with the projectile attack from Draven, you know? So it can be like the slam from the Crowbell, the projectile attack from the Draven, and then maybe the guillotine from the Executioner, right? I like that idea, F and Jeff. I love that idea. By the way, if people don't know, and I don't know if you like me doing this, F and Jeff, he has an amazing, or they have an amazing YouTube channel. They release a few videos every league, and they are banger videos, very mechanically oriented, excellently put together. So if you guys have not checked out If and Jeff's YouTube channel, highly recommend it. Okay. I'm always careful of If and Jeff. I respect people. Hey Lilvian, what's going on? I am full health. And my baby's doing great. She's sleeping right now. She's sleeping right now. I also think Tane is super cool, Robert Dresser. Serious, you tried it once in Crucible and then they took it out. Oh, sorry, man. It was cool, but it was really spammy. Delirium. Okay. Delirium is definitely in the game, and Delirium, very simple. Okay, so you walk through the Mirror of Delirium and it causes a mist to fade over your map. The deeper you get into the mist, the more powerful the monsters get, the more inhibited you are by said mist. It spawns a bunch of delirium-specific monsters, and it buffs rare monsters with delirium, rare and unique monsters with delirium-specific modifiers. There's also the simulacrum, which is, delirium in a certain area, usually a town, where you fight a whole bunch of waves of delirium monsters, right? Will it be in the game? Yes, it's been confirmed. That was like the first league that was confirmed to be in Path of Exile 2 back at ExileCon 2023. They said that you unlock delirium during an Act 4 quest. So it's confirmed in the game. How the heck does delirium fit in the game as a base? It doesn't. It has to be reworked, right, guys? Come on. Cluster Jewels came from Delirium too. I don't think those are going to be in 1.0. But I think Delirium as a mechanic definitely needs to be reworked a bit. Like, I think it's a very simple mechanic. But I think, like, I'm trying to form this in my mind. Does it need to be reworked? I mean, it's kind of just a juicing layer. Maybe this is like one of the only juicing layers initially available in Path of Exile 2. You know? Like, it doesn't have cluster jewels, but it allows you to double down on all your other rewards. Because I don't think cluster jewels are a good fit for 1.0. I don't think that's the right idea. I think those should be saved for a later patch if they do end up adding them back. Delirium fried your PC. Yep. You don't think following the mist goes well for PoE2? So do you think like, yeah, because it's kind of a race, right? Delirium. But if there's something like the Atlas skill tree where you can edit the way Delirium works, that helps. But maybe instead of a race, they kind of transition it into an area state in PoE2. Because yeah, what if you're spending 10 minutes in a map, you guys? Like, what are you're racing against a 10-minute Delirium timer? Or is it just going to be a permanent Delirium orb or something on your map? Not a Delirium orb, but if you choose to walk through the mirror, your map is affected by Delirium until you choose to end it. Yeah, If and Jeff, I agree with you. I remember that. This is the COVID League, by the way, you guys. This is when COVID started. Perfect timing, right? I think they had to change some voice lines around because people were a little, is triggered the right word? Or just like, run down from COVID. They had to change some voice lines. Pretty wild. That's 4 years, more than 4 years ago. Holy. And you got more than 4 years ago, Delirium. Wow. I'm agreeing with a lot of your takes. You think clusters could be replaced with unique jewels or jewels with unique keystones? Or maybe maybe clusters are just way rarer and they can only be used in very specific contexts. Yeah. Best league for you, Delirium. Yeah, that's what did I play in Delirium League? I played, oh gosh. I played a Viper Strike Pathfinder. And I tried to go Pestilent Strike first. And it did not work out, so I swapped to Viper Strike and I was able to get 40 out of 40, I think. Yeah, If and Jeff. I think it used to be called Affliction and they changed it to Delirium because of COVID. Yeah. I think you're right, Omega Cybers. They can stay out for a while. Yeah, it's truly an eternity ago. The Delirium Mirror makes you go into the Calandra Lake. They fuse those two leagues. Hot bad take. Not the Calandra Lake. That is wild though, guys. I think that Lake of Calandra is in like PoE2 in some way. Or maybe not. Maybe because it's using the tile set from a PoE2 area. Maybe they just use that tile set from PoE2 for Lake of Calandra. Because I was thinking how just like a unique tile set that is, Yeah, but Vince, those are totally placeholders. Anything in the passive tree can change entirely. And very quickly. All right, I'm keeping it definitely, but I think there's going to be a rework there. Oh, charms were insane, CVN. Oh my god, I love charms. They were so powerful. Insane power creep. Harvest, everyone. All right, so OG Harvest, people. You literally built your own factory. So you had a whole bunch of, like, I'm going to call them terminals, even though that's not what they were called. And you had to connect them to the proper colored juice. And you had to collect the juice to power your terminals and have them all moving together in the proper ways to power your plants. And there were spreadsheets on the internet for the perfect garden recipe and everything. I never did any of that. And I did just fine. But it was it was like Factorio inspired. I've never played Factorio, but it was like that sort of game, mini game. Obviously, it's a completely different beast now. And all those terminals powered crafting. And crafting was insanely powerful in OG Harvest. You could make mirror tier items very deterministically. It's shocking that they added all those mods in game, and I think it was obvious that they were experimenting for crafting systems that they thought might be in Path of Exile 2. I think that they may have changed directions on that a little bit, because also back then they thought Path of Exile 2 was going to come out in like 2020 in the beta. Obviously didn't happen, right? Because this is still during COVID, so it's all remote work era, and GGG thrives in the office environment for them. So now it's evolved into still, you're interacting with the crops, you're fighting these awesome looking monsters, and you're getting the juice to power crafts. The crafts aren't anywhere near as powerful, nowhere near as deterministic, but they are still powerful. I don't think it's going to be in PoE2. I don't think it's going to be. It's too encompassing. It's too powerful. I don't think it's going to be there. And it makes me sad because the harvest monsters are my favorite monsters in the game. I don't think they're going to have this crafting system in the game. What do you guys think? Am I crazy? Mark and Jonathan want OG Harvest to return if possible. Really? Really? Okay. So I'm really curious. So if Harvest was to return to the game, obviously it would be coming with a complete rework, because the way that currency orbs are changing in Path of Exile 2, right? And bases are becoming far more important. So, like, okay, here's my dream. Here's my dream, you guys. Yeah, it's going to be hard to, like, show on here, but, like, I would love if in Path of Exile 2, Harvest came back, right? And they changed the way it worked a little bit. Like, it's still, you're still fighting those cool monsters and everything. It's still involved with crafting, but you also can, like, find harvest encounters in other end game systems, like Delve. I think Delve is going to be alongside maps in PoE2, and you could find harvest groves deep in the Azurite mine. I think that'd be so cool. Same with other mechanics. Like, I feel like some of these mechanics, and now I'm going to go off on a tangent, I think if they were integrated into other endgame systems alongside mapping, they'd be so much cooler. Like, if you could find, like, you can already find monoliths and like abyss stuff in Delve and the like, but if you could find basically everything you can find in maps in something like Delve, I think that'd be so cool, and it had its own unique spin on it. Maybe like different monsters and everything. That'd be way too much work for them. I'm going down the rabbit hole. Anyway. Harvest. I don't think it's going to be there. I just don't think it's going to be there for 1.0. Maybe later down the line. I don't think it's going to be there for 1.0. The crafting, the mechanic, I think they're going to stick with far more basic currency orbs, crafting bench. Maybe they'll bring in like fossils and essences, but I don't think Harvest is going to be there for OG. Maybe a variation of it. Heist. Ooh, wait, before we move to Heist. Vince said, some people on Reddit are using as argument the fact that they added Harvest MTX in the last core with PoE2 in mind, which seems reasonable to me. That's true. That's true. Yeah, If and Jeff, that's very true. Yeah. Like, you can find some of this awesome stuff from before Delve, inside of Delve. You can find Legion monoliths in Delve too, right? Or am I stupid? Am I misremembering that? Maybe I'm crazy. Need a way to swap resistances at the very least. I know lots of people will disagree. I just don't think it's going to be in the 1.0. Like, I really want it. I really love Harvest. Incursion doors everywhere. The alien Allen with the big take of the night. Yes, I think many people would want incursion doors everywhere. Okay, next one, everybody. We're going to talk about Heist. Okay. Heist was made, I think, with PoE2 assets and with PoE2 explicitly in mind. It, like Delve, is an endgame system that can live alongside maps. You go into special tile sets. It's a completely different gameplay experience. You know, you are killing mobs, you know, sometimes, but a lot of the time, you know, you're trying to be strategic with the way you're maneuvering the NPCs and blasting past everything and which chests you're opening and how you're juggling the threat levels and everything. I think that this is definitely going to return with minimal changes alongside something like Delve and Maps. I just haven't added the rest of the leagues yet. Heist also adds a bunch of base types, which I think are just going to be in PoE2 as a baseline. I think a lot of the base types they were experimenting with Heist and all those cool and interesting implicits are just showcasing the type of bases that are going to be in Path of Exile 2 in general. And then maybe Heist and Path of Exile 2 will have some other unique reward structure. Maybe other bases that are even wilder. That's what I think. Remaking all that lore, right? And that's the thing too. Like, but again, Dem DeMaio. I think they have been, the lore team has had far more time than they thought they were going to have. Way more time. I think that they have been done with Path of Exile 2 stuff for a while. And they've been able to work on updating the lore for all the leagues that they know will be in PoE2. I bet they already have the expansion lore done for the first PoE2 expansion. Because that stuff, it doesn't require lots of other people to assist in it, right? You can go in and as long as you get approval from the high ups at GGG, like Jonathan and Mark, you're probably good with the lore to just keep going. Just keep going, right? You talk about what assets you need. You talk about, you know, the broad strokes and everything, but you can keep writing the lore, the characters, progressing the story. And as long as you know the general direction, you just go. The Alien Allen, my first playthrough is going to be the same way. I want to listen to, you know, most, if not all, the dialogue and explore as much as I can. If and Jeff, I totally agree with you. I'm not going to read your whole message. He's saying that initially the alarm mechanic was affected when you were spotted by enemies, and they knee-jerk nerfed it. So now it's like basically, you know, it's just chess essentially. And it was way cooler, way more thematic, and way more strategical when it first came out. But yeah, I do agree that they should, you know, look into that and making it a little bit more distinct from other systems out there. Like killing stuff also raised the alert too, right? Oh, obviously killing stuff sucked because they saw you. But if they saw you and you killed them, did it further raise the alert levels, or am I tripping out? Yeah, Heist is insane on the voice acting. Oh, Benny Mario, I haven't gotten to Sanctum yet because Sanctum is 3.20. Heist is 3.9, 3.10, 3.11. Heist is 3.11 and Ritual is 3.12. Okay, Ritual. You guys know Ritual. It's a little altar. You click altar, or you kill monsters around the altar. It absorbs the blood. You click altar. You spawn the monsters again. You kill them. You open up a shopping screen. And there's 2 to 3 more altars in the map where you do this. We've seen it's in Path of Exile 2. We have not seen if the shopping mechanic is still in PoE 2. All right. Sorry about the cough. And even then, guys, is it confirmed now that I'm thinking on it? Is it confirmed for PoE 2? Or was it just thematically in the canopy area with the King and the Miss? Like, did Jonathan ever say, like, yeah, Ritual, the mechanic, is returning for multiple maps? Or was it just like a secret? A secret. My fingers are being hidden. No way they use it for. Okay. I was just making sure on my facts there. Thank you for fact checking me. I appreciate it. The Ritual's definitely in, and there's going to be a slight rework to it, but not a lot needs to change. It's a very basic mechanic. Lots of people will understand it as soon as they, encounter it, which that's a positive. First, we need some mechanics that are like that. I think, Ritual is like that. I think Legion is like that. Blight, Abyss, Domination, Breach. Yeah. I think they're all like that. Some of them require, a bit more thought, right? I got to change that cycle since we're past league start. Nobody's getting the QRX Vault Pass anymore. Okay. Now I'm interesting. So this is the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The next 15 leagues. The next 15 batch. We have how many Heknas? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 15. Hekna. How many definitelys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 out of 15 definitelys. Which means by process of elimination, there's only one maybe. Does that check out, you guys? Yes. Metamorph. Okay, I want to compare that to the first 16. I know people are going to hate that they don't match up 16 to 16. 17 Hekna, or 7 Hekna, 6 definitely, 3 maybe. Interesting. Definitely a lot of Heknas here because a lot of these mechanics are just like very basic or general stuff. But with this next 15, you can see with Abyss, I think Abyss or Best, I think it's Bestiary is the cutoff where the quality raises substantially. Right? This is when leagues start getting insane. So it's what? This is 3.1 on or 3.2? Yeah. Wait. This is 3.0, 3.1, 3.2. The 3.2 on, I think. 3.7, 3.8. Nope. This is 3.1. Bestiary is wait. Uh-oh. 3.0. Harbinger. Were there 2 leagues with this? Am I tripping, guys? 2.6. 3.0. 3.1. I'm going to look it up. Version history. I'm going crazy. Let's see. Get the leagues. Getting them up on my other screen. League history. Here we go. We've got Harbinger was patch 300. Okay, so 300, 3.1. This is 3.2. Okay. Got it.
Tribute.
There we go. Okay. That's 3.3, 3.5. Right. Okay. Get my numbers together. Can I include the 16th league? I know. I knew you would hate it, Omega Cyrus. I just knew it. I can. Do you guys know what the next league after Ritual was? First person to name it gets a big shout out about it. McCode, you got it right. I can't spell it. Ultimato. Will that be in PoE 2? Controversial take. I think Ultimatum is awesome. I think it's pretty cool. I think Chaos as a character just needs to be in PoE 2. And I think it's just another like distinct, simple league mechanic that they can just drop in and basically keep in the game as is. Is that controversial? I don't know. Do people like most of my experience with Ultimatum just correlates back to people searching for the Trial Master in Ultimatum League and just hating that league because he was a required challenge and people could not find the Trial Master. And it was an absolute poop show. Yeah, Trial Master's awesome. I don't even see reworks happening. Okay, so we've got 10 out of 16.
Blood tribute.
Hey, Jordan Pio and Nothing Fancy. Thanks for the follows. Appreciate it, you guys. Oh, yeah. Don't think that's controversial. Okay, well, geez, guys. I didn't realize. I thought it was going to be controversial. Okay, so we're going to do a sum. We're going to do a sum right now, you guys. Here we go. So far. Okay, we've got 32 leagues. 32 leagues. We've got 7 plus 5. 12 out of 32. Heck nah. We've got 6 plus 10, definitely. 16 out of half the leagues, definitely. And then we've got 4 out of 16, right? Yeah, 4 out of 16. Or 4 out of 32. Maybe. We got to remember here. 80% of PoE leagues will be in PoE2 eventually. So what's our stats so far? If we include the maybes in the definitely, so we're at 20 out of 32.
Blood
How's the math checking out? We're at a 62.5% PoE1 to PoE2 right now. Illusion, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. So there is the math, you guys. Big math right there. Big math. And the quote is 80%. I think this is too high. I don't think this is realistic. No, I don't think. No, I stand my ground. I overwrite GGG. No, I'm just kidding. I think that maybe when they said that, maybe they weren't including a lot of these leagues. What do you guys think? Maybe they're kind of thinking of Bestiary onward. Is that a controversial take? Like, what if they're thinking of like the actual leagues that have big content in them? I don't think they're thinking of, yeah, back in 0.8 Onslaught or, you know, Nemesis, right? They're not thinking of Rampage League. They're thinking of Heist and Delirium and Legion and Ultimatum, which I put in all caps for some reason. It's the only one I put in all caps. You know what? It deserves it. I'm leaving it in all caps. What's up, Heron? You made it, dude. What's going on? How was the gym? I might try to hit the gym, well, my home gym after this. Right, If and Jeff, yeah. Like this, maybe I'm being pedantic counting these, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I think this is more accurate if we're talking about overall leagues of all time. Boris, thanks for the follow, man. Okay. So, yeah, I think that's what it is. Okay, so the next leagues, you guys. All right, we're listening them out now. I could farm engagement, but I'm not going to. We've got Expedition. Yep, Expedition is next, right? I mean, do we want to play the game?
Tribute.
Let's play the game. Who has a good memory? We've got Expedition next. What's after that? Let's do it. I can do this because I was playing hard at this time. So, thanks for the follow, Descartes. Scourge. That is accurate. This is accurate. You guys are good. Very smart. Big smart. Arc Nemesis. Ooh, Benny Maru. Oh, no. Oh, Benny Maru's just going. No, Benny Maru's cheating. He's going too fast. Nobody's going to get a chance. Oh, no. Oh, he doesn't even care. Benny Maru just popped the heck. Yeah, Beakface, you know, you read my mind. Popping off. Didn't even give other people a chance. Sanctum. Crucible. Ancestor. Affliction. Acropolis. So this is the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Omega Cybers, if you'd like to create 5 leagues, so we have 16 here, you can go for it. Otherwise, we just got to go with this 11. Yeah, Ancestor is Toda. Trial of the Ancestors. Okay. All right, we're gonna do them, guys. We're gonna do them. I feel more comfortable about not explaining all these leagues as in depth as before. Expedition. You meet a band of lovely Kalguurans and you dig up stuff using explosives. You fight lots of cool monsters, love the models, love the abilities, cool bosses. Novel idea. Will Expedition be in PoE 2? The Kalguurans are in PoE 2, guys. I think that, yeah, they're going to be in PoE. This is going to be in PoE 2. I think Expedition is going to be in. Ward is going to be in. I think Ward is a great extra defensive layer, like mechanic that they can play with in addition to energy shield, armor, and evasion. 100% Expedition is in. We're going to finally meet the king, right? For all you lore nerds out there, we're getting some heavy hints about meeting the Kalguur king, not only in this league, but in Trial of the Ancestors as well. Yeah, and hopefully the Big Bomba stays in too. I know everybody's banking on the Big Bomba staying in. Okay, Scourge League. Guys, okay, this is the only one, I think. I think this is the only nah. Okay, one of the only nahs. I don't think Scourge. Such a cool idea, you guys. Such a cool idea. And okay, stop. Omega Cyrus, don't do it. Don't do it to me. I think that in some way the Scourged map mechanic will be in PoE 2, but I think it's like the tile set, like the Scourge Invasion, how it changed the tile set completely into like the Scourge realm. Once again, because I think the Scourge and the Beyond Demons are going to be an integral part to the PoE 2 story. So I think that we are going to see like this aesthetic in the game, but I don't think like the thing that you have planted in your chest and the ability to press V and transform into a new realm, I don't think that's going to appear. Yeah, the map flip was iconic. Do you guys remember that trailer? How so cool that was? The Last to Die, also awesome. I just don't think we're going to see any. I think that was a one-off, you guys. And it was timelines and multiverses are so last few years. Like, come on. That's not going to be in PoE 2. No multiverses. The map flip was awesome, you guys. It was. Scourged maps were pretty busted, though. Yeah. I know I'm being controversial. Arc Nemesis, guys. I mean, I don't think they want to focus on you building your own rare monsters. So in Arc Nemesis, you built your own rares, right? All the mods that people hated in Arc Nemesis, Sentinel, and Calandra, and still kind of hate to this day, they began in Arc Nemesis as modifiers you could use collected off rare monsters to build your own monster. I don't think we're going to be building our own rares in PoE 2. I think that we're going to focus on, the pack-to-pack gameplay with rares that have random mods or maybe some predetermined mods, and then the bosses. I don't think they're going to want us to be building our own rares and determining like our own rewards. I think that was a little bit too deterministic, the right word? Yeah. Okay, so maybe heck nah, but some mods will be in PoE 2. Okay, how about like this? Mods in PoE 2. So I think some of the mods will return. The mana ring on the drummer goblins. I hate it. Hard pass. Yes. Oh my god, that'd be insane. Okay. Go. All right, we're going to go to Sentinel next. I mean, okay, so Sentinel, you had the Sentinel controller, which you could use to reconfigure the way these little robots that floated beside you worked. They could buff monsters to give them new rewards, make them harder and all the like. The concept is so good. Recombinators are such a novel way to bash gear together. I totally agree, If and Jeff. Yeah, we talked about that on Tuesday. Crazy monster mods are necessary in PoE1 because the monsters are so samey. In PoE2, that's not going to be the case. Yep, totally agree, dude. I don't I don't think well, man. I think this is a good extra mechanic to have, but I don't know if like okay, we're doing a maybe. We're doing a maybe. Maybe reskinned in some way. Because I think the robots were kind of a wild add to PoE1. And I don't know if that's the vibe they're going for in PoE2, but I think this is a nice, simple extra mechanic that can work alongside something like Delirium for initial Path of Exile 2 juicing, which people are going to want at the end of the day. They're going to want ways to edit the rewards of their monsters that are new and not new, but like exciting and aren't just, rolling map modifiers or just randomly trying to get stuff. I think Sentinel acts as that. And I like Recombinators. Kalandra. Kalandra. Guys. Guys. So in Lake of Kalandra, you could build your own lake using this tablet. Each of the tiles on the lake had a different reward set. There was a super rare reward in which you could essentially mirror a piece of jewelry and make it uber powerful. I don't think the mechanic is coming back. It was reusing a lot of prior mechanics. It wasn't really that new and interesting. A lot of the boss fights were just, HP pools. The only interesting part was jewelry crafting. I think that's really cool. And that's like a really iconic PoE gamble. I think it'll be in PoE too, like so you can make those insane jewelry items. Also, guys, just by the way, this is my least favorite league of all time. I don't know what you guys feel about that. I know there's been a lot of drama about Kalandra. If you've seen my, most famous and infamous players series, you know that that's when some crazy PoE drama happened with the content creator community. It was not a great time to be a PoE player, and this is when I started making content for the game. By the way, in mass, because I was sick of the negativity. Oh, If and Jeff, those are the videos I made too. I made lore videos about Kalandra speculating about what was going to be revealed and all that. And then she literally just turned out to be like an ancient bird lady that was here since the very beginning, but that was it. Like, come on, come on. Okay. Sanctum. It's a roguelite in PoE. 100%. Sanctum, Heist, Delve, Maps, bam. 4 endgame systems right there. Sanctum's going to be there, you guys. It fits perfectly into Path of Exile 2's combat style. They want engaging fights. It's exactly what, they're going for. And that's what they were trying to do in Sanctum. Almost like it was a testing ground. Imagine Sanctum where you're actually like comboing abilities together and your abilities are moving you around and everything. Oh, I love it. I love the thought of it. Totally agree, If and Jeff. Just like, there was an endgame encounter in Blight where you fought this massive blighted heart and that was cut. The dialogue is there for it. There's a lot of would you guys be interested in a Bad Seasons show is doing it's like the Lost Secrets of Classic WoW or something series. Would you guys be interested in that for Path of Exile? Because there's a lot of information in the audio files for PoE. Like in Conquerors of the Atlas, Cirrus was like just supposed to invade your maps and interact with all the other conquerors, and you were supposed to fight Cirrus multiple times before you fought him in Oriath. Like there's all this wild dialogue that they pre-record. It's kind of like what I was saying earlier. By the way, you guys, the fact that you can write lore and dialogue and record everything, but what you're really waiting on are the mechanics, the art assets, and all that stuff. So they write way more than what's actually going to appear in the game and that what they're going to have time for. And then that stuff just gets cut, but they still make it into the audio files. So, okay, so maybe I'll do that. That sounds fun. There's a lot of that stuff out there. I think there's some hidden Kalandra lines too, last to die lines, some expedition lines. I'll see how far back it goes. That'd be pretty cool. A lot of the time it's like end game bosses that are cut. Harry, did you play when Cirrus invaded your maps? There were Cirrus influenced mobs. Do you remember that, dude? I don't know. I don't know if you were around during that time. Yep, Metamorph, Blight, Delirium, Kalandra. Yep. I remember Cirrus influenced mobs. Was that one league that happened, you guys? Or was that a bug? Was that not even a league? Okay. Here we go. Yep. It happened for a league. May have been a fever dream. Crucible. Everyone. All right, so this introduced the Crucible Forge and weapon passive skill trees, or Crucible passive skill trees to the game, where you can make a passive skill tree on your weapon or certain unique items. Unparalleled power creep on weapons specifically and what you were able to do. The content itself of the league was very meh. I thought the monsters they added around the Crucible Forges were great. Challenging encounters, busted at times, loved being able to charge it up, and I loved being able to choose the difficulty of the encounter. Like, I knew I was like, if I'm holding this to max, I only have myself to blame. And it was still so funny to see how many people complain, like, I'm charging it to max. Why am I dying so much? Well, guys, what do you mean? What are you doing? But then it had the absolute worst pinnacle content in the game. The absolute worst. The Forge of the Titans was terrible. It was horrible. Why did they make a non-randomly generated map an endgame thing for PoE? It's the same path every single time, and you could run past all the monsters to use the forge that combined weapon trees together. What is that? What are they doing there? I don't understand. I don't like that. But I like the ideas of the weapon passive skill trees and being able to further build on top of your weapon. Maybe even having a certain class of weapon in Path of Exile, almost like the legendary potential in Last Epoch, where you can build, truly a best weapon, like a best in slot weapon, and it's a truly unique but not unique weapon. I really like that idea. But all the other content around it, I really didn't like. You're on Hellna? You think so? I like the weapon skill trees. You guys are Hellna? I really like the crafting. I'm going against you. This is my list. My list. Okay? My list. I'm probably wrong though. I'm probably wrong. It's not gonna happen. All right, Okor. Thank you for the hell yeah. Thank you. Need some support. Yes, only if it's something you can craft on a weapon. So I'll say like weapon crafting. Okay, it wouldn't be at the same power level as it was in Crucible, but it would be like an extra leg up on crafting your weapon. Like, I don't know. So I don't know if you guys like play D&D. I'm sure a lot of you have played Dungeons and Dragons before, but I hate just getting like the basic magic item. You know what I mean? Like, I like being able to add various facets to my magic items, especially as like a dungeon master. So add my own unique flair and flourish. Like Holy Avenger is like a great example. Very powerful weapon. I don't care about it when like I give it to players or when I find it. I want it to have unique traits that no other Holy Avenger has. And that's kind of something that I think I could see happening with a weapon passive skill tree if it was fully fleshed out in PoE2. Yeah, longsword to +1. Like obviously Path of Exile weapons aren't that simple, right? +1 longsword to +2 longsword. But that's what I'm trying to get at. Like even like a flame tongue, right? In D&D. Cool, but I don't want it to be like all the other flame tongues out there. I want it to have a unique flair to it, right? Yeah. Amex? Wait, Amex. Maybe Crucible rework would be how you can customize the weapon swap thing in skill tree, and Crucible would add new nodes to that. Ooh, Crucible rework would be how you. Mm, mm, see, Amix, the only thing is, I feel like that needs to be baseline. I don't think that can be hidden behind like that sort of mechanic. But, you know, the ascendancies are going to be hidden behind, you know, something like the lab. Not the lab. I don't know. It's curious. Like locking certain big ticket build editing tools behind like one-off mechanics, like one-off quests and stuff. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I got to think about that, Amix. Right. If and Jeff, 100% agree. Like every single item I make is homebrewed when I'm a DM. Like, screw the DMG. Like, come on. No. And they all have names. It's never just a Boots of Haste. It's like, you know, if and Jeff's walking some, I don't know. I can't improv right now. I haven't DM'd in like 2 years. I used to DM every week. I think I DM'd every week for 5 years straight. 5 years. Ugh, man. Whew. That was a time. Anyway. Okay. All right. Ancestor League. Is there anybody who wants to fight me here? I do think this is going to be in PoE2 with some changes. I think it's more, the combat is more so designed for PoE2's combat, and I don't think they're going to allow for that crazy cheesing stuff. But I think it's in the game. Oh, Path of Exile just tweeted you guys, and I got it on my phone. This weekend, we're having a sale on hideouts and pets. You'll also receive a free Settlers Mystery Box when you spend any amount of points. Ooh. No Path of Exile 2 news, though. None. Dang. I think definitely, but it needs a rework because it was exploited so quickly. Oh, awesome, Plebeian. Your first time DMing for your friends and loving it? That's awesome, dude. It's such a great hobby. Oh, okay. Ancestor was the auto battler. Now that I'm thinking about it, guys, I'm like maybe. And I think that I think it's a maybe for PoE2, and I think like the lore. I think the lore will be in PoE2. Because we know that we're going to go to the Hall of the Dead again in PoE2. Like Hinakura told us that she's expecting someone like later in the lore. So I think we're going to the Halls of the Dead in PoE2, but I don't know if the Trial of the Ancestors mechanic will actually be in PoE2. But tattoos might make it in. That's very possible. But Zinski, it was like the Auto Battler League where you could set up your units and they would battle against another unit and you had to kill the enemy ancestral totem. Yeah, it was the one right after ExileCon. Yeah, I don't know if it'll be in Path of Exile 2. I think that's a maybe. Okay, Affliction, you guys. Affliction. You delve into the Viridian Wildwood. You fight all these Path of Exile 2 monsters in a Path of Exile 2 old area. And you mega juice your maps. Lots of rewards. You no longer really get them, right? I enjoyed the Affliction mechanic in Path of Exile 1. I don't think the mechanic fits in Path of Exile 2. But I'm wondering, I think I said this at the time, could charms, like I like the random encounter, but I didn't like the initial mechanic where it was ultra juicing everything. It feels super mid at the moment. I'd never do afflictions anymore. The charms. Do you guys think the charms were kind of like testing the waters for Path of Exile 2 ascendancy classes? Yeah, they're uber busted in Path of Exile 1. But what if they're like... Viper-esque said something really interesting in the Discord like a week ago, and I noted it in my video where I was talking about, I was going in, I think somebody in Reddit said, I went into the dregs of the intranets to find this. Jeez, I cannot, oh God, ugh, silly people, whatever. I wonder, and he was talking about like, somebody referenced being able to leap across the skill tree with an ascendancy or something. I wonder if like ascendancies are kind of drag and drop in PoE2, or if there's an ascendancy like it, or it's like a build your own ascendancy. And they were kind of experimenting what players would do, like how they would build their own ascendancy in PoE1 with the charms, because that's what you could kind of do, right? You had 3 charm slots, and you could pick and choose ascendancy nodes, right? And I mean, you can already do that with Forbidden Flame and Forbidden Flesh, but those are not available. I've never used Forbidden Flame and Flesh on my build. Charms, I was mixing and matching charms, and I know everybody was playing with charms, right? So that was a huge testing ground. So I think it's one of 2 things. Maybe they were testing something for PoE2, like a drag and drop ascendancy system, or they were like, oh crap, we need another awesome reward mechanic. Let's just like put minor ascendancy nodes on items you can drop into a new ascendancy, something like that. I don't know. I'm going to read through comments now really quick. Yep. Okay. I think that's a big possibility. But maybe it was a test for the PoE2 Scion version. Right. But they said Scion's not going to be in PoE2. I like the idea of right. That's why I'm wondering if it was like meant as a broader test for PoE2, because in PoE1 it trivialized a lot. Like I was, as a berserker with Cleave of Rage, like I was so busted with the war cries and everything. Oh, that was so crazy. I think that it's definitely going to be in with a rework, because I like the random encounter aspect of it. Okay, here we go. Necropolis. Guys, like, I hated the Necropolis League mechanic, the graveyard system. We get corpses from monsters, we put them into the graveyard. There was a lot of UI work there, guys. And it looks very similar to the UI of Path of Exile 2. All the crafting stuff, it looks very similar. It was very similar to the skill screens in Path of Exile 2. All of the, maybe it's just the same artist working on it. Or maybe, you know, they were kind of working. Okay. So, sorry, I'll write it down so I don't lose all my subs. Elna. But I think that they used some of the bones for how the master bench works in Path of Exile 2 for Necropolis. I think they use some of those UI elements and kind of explaining the different base types and the like in Necropolis League. But I like all flames, nah. Corpses, nah. What, there were some special mods, like, okay, well, special mods are going to be in PoE2. I liked being able to see what abilities monsters used, and I think that would be really cool if we had a bestiary for all 600 plus monsters, but that's not the Necropolis mechanic. Yeah, I was being a little funny there with the bones. But yeah, it was very complicated. It was very tedious. I crafted using it just as many times as I needed to for challenges, and I never touched it again. I think a lot of people felt that way. Okay. Settlers of Kalguur. Everyone should know what Settlers is. You're building your own town in King's March. Okay? You've got the currency exchange, which is going to be in PoE2. That is confirmed. You've got recombinating. You've got the sailing system. You've got all this stuff. I mean, this is a definitely. This is a definitely. And I don't know if I said this first or if it was somebody in my chat or on a comment who said it. I know it was on one of my videos. It wasn't Reddit. I think this is how hideouts work in PoE2. I think that's hideouts, guys. I think King's March is already built. We are going to literally be building our hideouts in this way in PoE2. We're going to be building like different nodes in our hideout. They're going to be fully decoratable. But this is one of the things that they could surprise us with. Like a bomb drop. Like, Oh yeah, by the way, hideouts in PoE2. That's King's March in PoE1. You can build all these nodes and you can create like a farm that auto generates, crops that you can send on ships to generate items and currency, like all these side systems. Like that's something, settlers, that's something that could be alongside Sanctum, Heist, Delves, and Maps. 100%. Like that just sockets in so well. As long as we can place and move things around, which I think we'll be able to. If and Jeff, that's great point. The big question for me is whether they saw the time-gated mechanics as a success. They've been very silent on it. Me, I didn't have much of a problem with it, but I know a lot of people like felt pressure to play, and like they felt like gold was forcing them to log on, and the psychology behind all that. I don't know. I got to think about that more. How's this going to work with hideouts that don't have ports, such as ones in space? Great question. Great question. Maybe in those cases, they're like, this doesn't work in PoE2. If it's in like space, maybe they do that, because they did say if cosmetics don't make sense. Like if Righteous Fire changes the way it works in PoE2, then you're not going to have your celestial righteous fire from PoE1. If hideouts change the way they fundamentally work in PoE2, and they become this thing that you're basically building a town around, maybe those cosmetics don't work in PoE2. Yeah, or spaceships. Yannick, was it you who told me this? Yannick, you told me this? Settlers of Kalguur is going to be hideouts in PoE2? Okay, Yannick is claiming credit. I defer to Yannick in the YouTube chat. I know, I bought the turtle too, but okay. Or they changed the layout of it, yeah. Yeah, and if it's like a land-based hideout, guys, it could be like caravans and stuff. Like they can flavor it. Yannick, you sent me the email about it, dude? Oh my god, you did, didn't you? Let me check my email. Shouldn't have checked my email on stream. Okay. Nope. We're closing my email. We're gonna talk later. Yep. I'm just gonna shut up. Let's see. Yeah. So I'm gonna be super cryptic about that. Okay. So everyone, let's count these up again. The next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I did not get a PoE2 beta invite. 11 leagues. Out of 11, we've got 1 definitely. 2, 3, 4. Only 4 out of 11 of these leagues, guys. Okay. Heck nah. 1, 2, 3, 4. I put a hell nah for Necropolis. Holy. Whoa. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of 11. Heck nah. Okay, and then maybe 1, 2, 3. 3 maybe. 4, 4, 3. That makes sense. 3 out of 11. Maybe. Okay, let's do the sum, you guys. Okay, so we've got this right here, all the way up here. We've got 11 more, so we've got 43 leagues in total, guys. Wow. This has been quite the project. Quite the project here. We're going to add these up. 4, 4, 3. So 4 definitely. 20. 16. 7. Okay? All right. So what's the math there, guys? If we count the maybes as definitelys, 20 plus 7 is 47. Wait. Oh my god. 20 plus 7 is 27. Oh my god, you guys. We literally went up to 62.7% PoE1 to PoE2. All right, guys, this is where we are. This is where we are. 43 leagues. We finished it out. At the end of the day, this is what we have, you guys. Jonathan has stated 80% of PoE1 leagues will be in PoE2 eventually. We went through all 43 PoE1 leagues that have ever existed in the game. Brought all the way from Onslaught, which was the very first league, Onslaught and Anarchy, to Settlers. I said, 16 definitely not going to be in the game. Heck nah. 20 out of 43 definitely going to be in PoE2. And 7 are maybe. If we count definitely plus maybe equals 27 equals 62.7%. We'll round it up to 63. 63% PoE1 to PoE2. Jonathan said 80. I think we're right. I don't think Jonathan counts any league before Breach as a league. I think these are all dead leagues. Right here. All right? That's why I think we're a little off. Or we're just right, you guys. We're just right. Flip it. Send it to GGG. We know what's going on behind the scenes.